The medieval Gong farmer led a life of hardship and filth, performing one of the most unpleasant and essential tasks of the era. In a time when modern sewage systems were non-existent, waste disposal was a significant challenge for medieval cities and towns. This gave rise to the role of the Gong farmer, an individual tasked with removing human waste from cesspits, privies, and latrines. The Gong farmer's daily life revolved around handling human excrement and other waste materials. They would descend into the depths of cesspits and privies armed with shovels and buckets, tasked with scooping out the accumulated waste. These pits were often dark, cramped, and teeming with disease-carrying insects and rodents. The stench was overpowering, and the air was laden with toxic fumes, making the work not only physically grueling but also hazardous to health. The Gong farmer's work was not limited to waste removal alone. They had to transport the collected waste through the streets to designated dumping sites. This often involved hauling heavy buckets of filth through narrow, muddy lanes, enduring scorn and mockery from passers-by. The waste was either dumped in designated areas outside the town or used as fertilizer for agricultural purposes, though its application was often haphazard and unhygienic. Given the unsanitary conditions and exposure to disease, Gong farmers were susceptible to a range of health issues. Respiratory problems, skin infections, and gastrointestinal ailments were common among these workers. The lack of proper sanitation and hygiene practices contributed to the spread of diseases such as cholera, dysentery, and various parasites. The average life expectancy of a Gong farmer was significantly lower than that of other professions due to these health risks. Despite their critical role in maintaining some semblance of sanitation in medieval towns, Gong farmers were often marginalized and looked down upon by society. They were considered part of the lowest rungs of the social hierarchy, and their work was stigmatized. They were frequently relegated to the outskirts of towns and were often subject to scorn and ridicule. The terrible life of a medieval Gong farmer was a grim reminder of the challenges and hardships that people faced in a time before modern conveniences and sanitation systems. Their work, while essential, came at a great personal cost, both physically and socially, underscoring the stark realities of life during the medieval period.